If you think differently, they'll label you dangerous. Most people believe that being unique is something to be celebrated, but in the real world, thinking for yourself is the fastest way to be misunderstood or even cast out. Imagine your childhood. School wasn't just about learning, it was about conformity. You spoke your mind, asked the questions no one else dared, saw the world in a way your classmates didn't. Maybe you were called strange, dramatic, or too much. Maybe you were mocked or quietly left alone. You learned early, standing out can make you a target. Nietzsche saw this pattern everywhere. He wrote, "And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music." The crowd doesn't judge you for being wrong, they judge you for breaking rhythm. The outsider's journey doesn't end in school. You enter work and find the rules are the same. Conform, stay quiet, play along. If you challenge the process, suggest the impossible, or simply refuse to play office politics, you're labeled difficult. Your originality, your refusal to blend in, threatens those who survive by playing it safe. It's the same story in love and relationships. You want depth, not small talk. You seek meaning, not routine. But most people crave familiarity. If you love differently, question tradition, or need space to think, you're accused of being distant or hard to love. Your individuality is mistaken for arrogance, your solitude for coldness. This is the existential tax of being original. Nietzsche understood that genuine thinkers are never fully at home in any crowd. He wrote, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." Originality is rewarded in theory, but in practice, it's met with resistance and suspicion. Psychology calls this existential isolation, the deep sense of being alone, even when you're surrounded by people. Existential psychologists recognize that the search for authentic meaning, the drive to live by your own values, inevitably sets you apart from the group. Being misunderstood isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Nietzsche didn't see this as a tragedy, but as a requirement for greatness. He wrote, "No one can build you the bridge on which you, and only you, must cross the river of life." Solitude isn't a punishment for the outsider. It's the cost of refusing to betray your own mind. You weren't rejected. You just didn't play their script. Look closely at every great innovator, artist, or philosopher. Those who changed the world were almost always outcasts at first. Nietzsche believed this was no accident. To create something new, you have to break from the old. To see the world as it could be, you must walk away from how it is. But there's a darker side to this journey. Isolation can breed self-doubt, depression, even madness. When the world tells you you're wrong for long enough, you start to believe it. Nietzsche wrote, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process, he does not become a monster." To stay true to yourself in a world that rewards conformity is the hardest fight of all. You might ask, why do they misunderstand me? Why do I feel so alone? The answer is simple but uncomfortable. Your difference threatens their comfort. People want reassurance, not revolution. They want the world to make sense, even if it means excluding the ones who refuse to play along. Society has always needed outliers, those who see new possibilities, who ask better questions, who refuse to accept the easy answer. but society is also quick to punish them. Nietzsche believed the majority is always hostile to the individual. He wrote, "In individuals, insanity is rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule." In other words, being true to yourself can make you seem insane to a world addicted to sameness. If you've ever lost friends, jobs, or relationships because you wouldn't conform, know this: you are not broken. You are paying the tax of originality. The loneliness you feel is a signal that you're actually awake, not just another dreamer in the crowd. So, what's the way through? Nietzsche didn't promise comfort. He called for courage. He wrote, "Become who you are." This isn't self-indulgence. It's a demand to honor your own perspective, even when it costs you approval. It means learning to find peace in solitude, to cultivate a life where you can listen to your own music, even if no one else hears it. It means accepting that you will be misunderstood and sometimes hated for simply refusing to betray your truth. Originality is lonely, but it's also the only way to build something real. Nietzsche argued that most people are content with borrowed thoughts, second-hand dreams. But for those who choose to think for themselves, misunderstanding is a sign that you are actually alive. If you always fit in, you're probably shrinking to make others comfortable. If you're always understood, you're probably saying nothing new. Isolation isn't the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a deeper one. In solitude, you find your clearest thoughts, your boldest ideas, your truest self. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Solitude, for the original mind, is not emptiness, but fertile ground. So, if you think differently, expect to be labeled dangerous, insane, arrogant, too much. But know that this is the ancient price for originality. The world will misunderstand you right up until it needs you. Remember, you weren't rejected. You just didn't play their script. You are not alone in your isolation. You are in the company of every real creator, thinker, and rebel who refused to dance to a song they couldn't hear. If you're ready to own your outsider status, subscribe for more on Nietzsche, existential psychology, and the power of being misunderstood. Share your experience in the comments. When did being yourself cost you acceptance? When did your isolation turn into your greatest strength?